Hello traders and welcome to the weekly outlook and setups volume 44. It's Iliya here, and as always I'm extremely excited to see you here on my YouTube channel. I've been getting a lot of positive feedback about the simplicity of the analysis, how clear it is, how simple it is, and that it works, which is the most important thing. So as always guys, we're gonna do the same as every week. We're gonna have a look at the market, how it developed, what opportunities did we have, and what can we expect for the upcoming week. Well, this week, to be honest, I'm full transparent. I finished at minus 0.5% loss. I had a half stop loss on UJ and a break even on NZD/USD. Very messy week for me, especially for kind of a day traders when you try to get in and out, but there are a lot of weeks, a lot of false moves, and you cannot just get the direction and the overall bias of it. And this week was like this, so I just protected my capital when I spotted that the week is not going good, and I stayed out as much as possible. So if you're new to this channel as well, it's all about trading. I post weekly analysis of the Forex market, and I will post more educational content. So make sure to subscribe, hit the notification bell in order not to miss anything. And just to let you know that this video is sponsored by a broker that I use called Crypto Rocket. I use it to trade crypto. I'm not a very big crypto guy, but it's very nice for Forex as well. It has all the pairs. The spread is extremely low, which is perfect for day traders, and the withdrawals are super fast, which I really love about the broker. So you can check it out. There will be a link in the description. And if you already hit the subscribe button, let's get straight into the video. As always guys, starting from the DXY, I do this every single day because if I am able to guess or just to forecast where the DXY will go, then it will give me a lot of information about the other pairs. So looking into the technicals, the weekly time frame, we have just a little candle right here that really tells me nothing. And if you compare this candle to the previous weekly candles, then it's just nothing. So dropping to the daily time frame to see what is going on, I can see that the market formed, which could be a potential lower high, right? Of this push to the downside, pull back, but the market is actually right now in the middle. The market started consolidating. We had the breakout, then we had a little retest, then we continued down, and the last day was just, it was bank holiday. So yeah, this is what we can expect. Let me spot. So yeah, the market opened here with a little consolidation. We broke out. So we broke out of this ascending trend line. We pulled back for a beautiful lower high, and we stayed here for quite some time. But as you can see, even the EMA, how it's just acting as dynamic resistance. We had some spikes to the downside that told me that there are potentially buyers coming in from that area, but then we broke out massively, and overall, as we had the break of the trend line, the lower high formation, spike high, final spike, we had a very similar price action to USD Swiss franc. A lot of people from the community took it, and then we flushed to the downside and then did the day like this. So if I still keep this technical analysis like this, just to remove all the details that are not needed, this is my previous lower high, and I have the lower low that might be retested. So I want to see how the market will open, if we're going to have some pullbacks into this area here for a lower high, and then potentially we might see the dollar weaken. As for take profit areas, or just support and resistance, I use always structural levels. So this one and this one could be two kind of longer term targets. The market, if the market pulls back to create a lower high to potentially create a third tap of this trend line, then we might go down to this supportive level. And if I draw Fibonacci to see if something aligns right here, yeah, as you can see, 61.8 and 50% zone is roughly around here, and the 27% extension almost aligns with the supportive level. So this is a setup that I will be looking for the DXY. I will be looking for sales. So let's see if Euro USD supports that. Euro USD weekly time frame, similar candle to the DXY, really telling us nothing except that it is bullish. So I will immediately switch to the daily time frame. Exactly the same price action, guys, to the DXY, but just in reverse. If I flip this chart like this, how do I flip it? Like this, it looks exactly as the DXY, right? You spotted. So well, this looks like to me as a short bias market right now, but as we saw the DXY actually reversing, we might expect some upside. So key levels from the daily will be this one. I would say 1.11 key level in the market. Where price is finding support right now is 1.08. We are pushing up. The last daily candle closes as indecision. So if I try to break my main time frame, we have absolutely the same. It's even ridiculous how well they correlate. We had this double bottom right here. Perfect indication of price failing to break below. Was this weekly open? Yeah, exactly. So we tapped right here. We broke above. We pulled back. EMA acting as dynamic support as well, creating this higher low. But as you can see, we had like from 7th of April till the 9th, we had a consolidation right here. And I was really confusing about what is happening because I saw this failing to break above, failing to break below as well. But if you still keep the overall bias and the shift of this trend, this downtrend shifting to bullish, break of the structure, pull back, fib level as well if you want further confluence like this. Look at that, perfect 61.8% tap. And then we spiked to the highs and right now finishing the week like this. So simple analysis as well, guys. I will be looking for buys just because I'm sells on the DXY and it won't make sense to go short on Euro USD. I want to see how this is going to pull back potentially to a Fibonacci level as well. Higher low formation, maybe a retest of this previous one, maybe a retest of the EMA, but I just want to see it pull back to form a higher low to leave me a few rejections to indicate a support level, to give me the criteria I want for entries. For example, I want to see that the buyers are stepping into the market, and then I drop it down to my lower time frames to look for buys. So this is how I view Euro USD overall buy bias, but don't and never expect the possibility of this breaking below this trend line and then coming back for a retest to create some sort of a head and shoulders, break, retest, lower high, and then a continuation to the downside. So as I always say, keep with the flow of the market. On Euro Yen weekly time frame, we have extremely messy price action on this one. So as you can see, this weekly candle again tells me nothing. After a very strong bearish engulf, price finds support at that very strong demand area right here. As you can see, I think we marked it on the previous weekly outlook. Tap right here and immediately started pushing up, but really nothing, actually no volume. So the market opened right here, 6th of April. We pushed higher, then we started to wick. And if I drop to the 4-hourly time frame, you will just see a madness. There's the 4-hourly time frame. I really couldn't spot what is happening here. So overall, I think that this is going down because if we have this uptrend, like the market is failing to continue above, right? And right now we're having a little bit of a break, but I would not consider this a break. So how I would approach this market, if you switch to the line chart, a little tip from me, you can see how the structure moves. We had that spike, then we had the higher low, then we had kind of a little uptrend, the market pulling back, but it never broke above this high. And it's staying below. It's creating a double top right now. So I think that we potentially might roll to the downside, pull back, and then continue down. So if I am to mark a level in the market that I really want to see break, it will be this one. So if I see a strong break in the close below, then I want to see a retest back, and then I will take a reversal to the downside. I don't want to sell right here because usually spikes can occur to stop out all the people first, and then the market will go. So on Euro Yen, very messy price action. I want to see how the market is going to break this ascending structure. It's failing to break above. I need a strong close and break below, pull back, and a continuation to the downside. Aussie USD weekly time frame finally started to recover a little bit, and we had a pretty bullish week. As you can see, the weekly candle is a very strong bullish engulf with no wick, almost no wick to the upside, which indicates very strong bullish pressure. So the market opened right here at the bottom, which was actually a perfect higher low on the daily. So if I take this kind of Fibonacci or just take the leg where the leg started, something like this, well, we had a 38.2%, which is not bad for such a massive move. Pull back, higher high. So from the daily time frame, I would expect a pullback to the downside, maybe to the EMA as well to get back to its mean value, and maybe a retest of this kind of structural level. And dropping to my main time frame, this doesn't make sense right now, so I would just keep in mind my daily price action. We're having a very strong uptrend right here. A beautiful opportunity. First beautiful opportunity was right here where the market started to hold. Rejection, massive bullish engulf, but didn't give me an entry later. But then we broke above this kind of level right here. Beautiful retest down with a rejection, and then again the market just started to pump to the upside. So two opportunities on this one. I really hope some of you got them. I personally didn't. because I didn't see this as a trading opportunity. It started to consolidate before that. I tried to trade the breakout, but I wasn't given entry criteria, so I just stayed away because my week already started bad, and I was a little bit down. So right now what we can do is we can wait for some sort of a pullback. We can put our Fibonacci as always to see where the market might pull back. This is the area where I will be looking for a pullback. EMA is staying right here, so we might pull back to the EMA as well. But what I can see right now is that the market is starting to fail to break above. So we will need an exhaustion. This is a higher high. We will exhaust to create a higher low, and then we can potentially continue to push to the upside for new higher highs. About support and resistance, well, I don't usually do this. I just follow the structure. We have something like this right here. It can be up there as well, but for now I just want to see the higher low form. I will take my long, and then I will ride it up until I see an invalidation of structure. Very similar price action on AJ, weekly time frame, very strong bullish engulf, closing above all the weekly wicks right here, which indicates very strong bullish pressure. From the daily perspective, we have this lower high right here, but then the market tried to push to the downside but failed to continue. Bullish engulf on market open, which told us that we might be going up. Then it left a little wick right here, that resistance area. We pulled back a little bit, then we closed above and we continued to go up. So from daily time frame, absolutely the same as AU. We have a higher high. I would expect a pullback. Where the pullback might take place, well, potentially I would mark this kind of area as my last structural area, because you can see the higher high breaking above, retest as a new higher low, and a continuation. So I will allow price to pull back anywhere but not below this, because if it breaks this, then we're in a downtrend. So I want to see a pullback somewhere around here. You can draw your fibs, but on this occasion the fib will not look nice, and I'll show you why. Because the move is too it's too short, I would say. And yeah, it could possibly be like this, but I just don't like it. So I will just wait for a simple higher low formation right here, and then a continuation to the upside. Keep it simple because simplicity works. NZD/USD weekly time frame, similar again, because it is positively correlated to AU. We have a very strong weekly engulfing candle. So taking this information, we can expect further bullishness into the next week. The daily time frame is forming a nice uptrend. Like, this trend line doesn't look good, because what it tells me is that price have to pull back with just one candle, and this is why I don't use trend lines. Higher high formation formed. Let's wait for a pullback. 4-hourly time frame to break down the structure. So what did we have here, guys? We have this downtrend getting invalidated, right? We had the pullback, first higher low, not perfect for entries. Then we had a strong push to the upside, and then as you saw on the previous pair, if price was here, I would expect the market just to pull back but not below this level. It pulled back to create a higher low. We pushed up to create a higher high, pull back again. You see how simple it is. Pull back again for another higher low, and right now we are sitting at a higher high, meaning that we should exhaust as well. So if I take this as my last higher low, then I will allow price action to pull back anywhere but not below this area. It might be right here to retest the previous higher high. I can see that there is a little supportive region forming just right here, but I think this is too immediate to look for a higher low there, but it is possible. So on the hourly time frame, we have consolidation. So a break of this consolidation might introduce some shorts, but the shorts will be very short-lived, I would say, because we will have to take profits right here, because this is a demand area, and if the market gets in there, then we can expect some longs. But for now, like, you can trade the pullback if you want to, and if you feel comfortable with it, because price is at a higher high, and if we expect the market to continue, it first should exhaust, so you can take the exhaustion and then trade it back to the upside. So this is how I look at NZD/USD. If I have a look at some support and resistance, there is really nothing right here that can tell me a strong supply and demand area. I can start drawing it absolutely everywhere. You can draw one right here, you can draw one right here, you can draw one, for example, here, and your chart will get full of support and resistance. So this is how I will be looking at this market. Last higher low, potential pullback for a higher low, and then a continuation up. NZD/JPY weekly time frame, let's quickly cover it as well. We have a strong bullish engulf to the upside, very similar to all of the structures right now. Bullish structure on the daily time frame, push, pullback, push, higher high, we expect the higher low. 4-hourly time frame, doing the top down analysis, we have a strong push to the upside, pullback, strong push, pullback, strong push. I can immediately spot where is my last structural area, which is right here. The market has been consolidating for quite some time. On like this Friday, I believe, Friday, Thursday, hourly time frame, we have this consolidation as well. So this is looking a little bit like it's going to go down. However, I want to see how it first is going to break this area. So if it pulls back, we might potentially find support, and then if it doesn't continue to break above the previous high, then I will immediately say that this is going down. So we might have something like this, because I can spot that it's really running out of steam right here. So it will pull back, but it will be very dependent if this is going to break this structure, or if it doesn't break, then we might come back to test the highs to make a double top of the highs or a lower high potentially, and then we can go down. So I really hope you get the point. From daily time frame, we're high, so we might have even a bigger exhaustion, a daily exhaustion. If I do the FIB, you can see that we might even get down here. So there could be some short-term shorts coming in, and this is why you have to really be careful with structure and to identify if the market is breaking or not. This is too sharp. So last structure, again, to keep it simple, this one, let's see how the market will pull back and stay above this structure. Keep it simple. USD JPY weekly time frame. So what we can see here is a complete massacre, but the last week we have a weekly what is this, like a doji gravestone or whatever it is. So this indicates to me selling pressure. Right now the EMA is still above daily time frame. I jumped to the 4-hourly daily time frame. So what do we have here? We have a strong push to the downside, indicating a lot of people selling. Then we had the pull back. Then the market found some sort of a lower high, I would say, right here, and attempted to push down. So I think that this is kind of consolidating right now. So trying to break the structure, as you can see, we have this very strong push to the upside. Then the market creates a hard low, fails to break, and creates a very strong resistance level. Tap, 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 then a strong bearishness right here coming in, breaking below structure. So I'm looking for sells overall. I want to see this market to pull back to create another lower high somewhere around here or back at the EMA, and then I will be looking for shorts. So where I took my short, it will take me a very long time to spot where it was right now, so I will not go into it, but I believe it was somewhere around here when the market was starting to push down, but then I got stopped out by a wick, or this bullish candle it was, so I'm really not sure, so I will not go into it. But I will be looking for continual sales, because I see that this is going for a downtrend. Daily time frame might go down. 4-hourly time frame, we have the shift and potential bearish structure. Break of this that might give us a retest as well right here. So let's be patient, let's wait for the pullback, and then we strike shorts. USD CAD weekly time frame, we can see a pretty nice candle right here, which tells us that the bears are in control right now of this market. So I think it's finally going to go down, maybe to fill this gap, who knows. So daily time frame, let's see what do we have here, guys. As spotted previously, we had the high here. The market attempted to push higher but failed. Then we broke below, and this was actually our lower low. Then we pulled back and started to consolidate. So very messy price action, I would say. And I would draw just this average level. The market started to push on market open. We had a bearish engulf, continuation, wick, wick, wick. So just in the beginning, we had some opportunities, but it was very unclear. So we were looking at the market like this, as this ascending price action right here, kind of tightening into a triangle. Then we had a little break, a little retest, final test, then we flushed down. So this was the only opportunity, I would say, right here, because when we pushed down, we pulled back and we started to wick, 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 wick. It was very hard to spot what will happen. But eventually, when the dollar broke to the downside, we had this strong push to the downside right here as well. But then another wick, huge wicks, push up, push back down, and then ended up consolidating. So very hard to tell what might happen on this pair. Daily time frame, I think that this is overextended a little bit. So if I mark my major areas in this market, so this is my major lower high, we pushed to the downside, we broke this. So this could be something that we might count as a level here at 1.4 1.40 or 1.4020, which we might look at. If the market is going to pull back to create a lower high, then I will be looking for sales, which will look something like this. So a pullback, sales, but this largely depends on the dollar, because keep in mind that even on UJ we might see something like break above, pull back for a higher low, and then a reversal to the upside. But for now, I will be keeping with the trend because it's clearly down. If I draw a trend line, which I don't usually do, it will look something like this, but which doesn't look good to me. So I will just wait for a lower high and then a continuation to the downside on UCAT. As for targets, if I scroll a little bit, again, we can look for many targets. I will personally look for key levels, something like 1.38 right here. And if you draw a rectangle right here, you will see how it reacts. Tap, tap, manipulation here, break, retest, massive explosion up. So this will be potentially a level that I will be targeting if we get the short. USD Swiss franc weekly time frame, similar candle to the DXY, a little bearish candle, which indicates selling pressure to us, which is good. So we might look for sales. Just a quick line here from the weekly time frame, then we translate this to the daily, and we can see this is actually some sort of a lower high. We pushed to the downside, we pulled back. This is a major area in the market from where the market printed that very strong bearish angle with no wick to the downside. Then price found support at the EMA, attempted to push up, but again left another wick. And then the market created a lower high right here, which we will potentially see on the 4-hourly, broke below, and I will be looking for sales definitely on this one. So very similar structure to I think the DXY, yes. Push to the downside, very nice push, pull back, first wick, second wick, and we got a member of the community taking a short right here, which was extremely ridiculous, very sniper entry, and he spotted this on the 5-minute. First, the manipulation right here at this candle, then the market just started to consolidate, but he knew that the market will give us a final spike to the upside before plunging. Then we had this, and he spotted his entry on the 5-minute, just right here at the top where the market manipulated to the upside, and he spotted something very extreme like a break and a retest. This right here, break, retest, and he took his short right here and rode this down, I believe right here where this double bottom started to form. So very, very, very nice trade. Going back to price action where it is. How I am looking at this one is a perfect sell bias market. I will mark this very major lower high. However, we have just a little one forming right here. So I want to see how the market is going to pull back into this area, into the EMA, and then I will be looking for continuations down. As for support and resistance levels, I told you I always use structural levels. So I will have this one right here, 0.96 could be. And then for further downside, I will be targeting the lows and potentially this little higher low. So this is how I look at this market. Very simple, very clean, just a few rectangles. Push, pull back, lower high, lower low. Let's wait for a lower high and then a continuation down. Let's have a look at the GBPs. Very, very, very hard to trade the GBP pairs. So let's have a look. The weekly candle is a bullish candle, almost closing above the wicks right here, but still kind of leaving me with this resistance levels, which I'm going to draw and then jump to the daily time frame to see what is happening. So we potentially, as you can see, we're staying at this double top. Very, very, very crucial area for the pound. I will draw it as a rectangle in order to try to catch all the wicks. So we're sitting right here. 1.25 is the key area that the market might manipulate into before going down. Very, very, very crucial to see the shift first on the 4-hourly time frame. So we had a few longs right here. A member of the community took a long. I'm not sure where exactly it was. I think it was if I can locate it on the hourly time frame. Now it will take me a lot of time to locate it right now. So yeah, so I'll just leave it. So 4-hourly time frame, we had this double bottom, we had this strong push to the upside, a pullback, beautiful long if you would able to spot it. Then we had a push, little consolidation, spiking to the lows to leave just a wick, continue to push higher, and then for the remaining of the week we had spike, 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 and consolidation. It's very crucial for this pair to see some sort of a break of structure, right? The trend line is already broken if we draw it like this. But I can see if you just have a look at this market, it is going down. It is going up, right? we want to see it go down first. So I want to see a strong push to the downside to break, let's say that this is too far away. I can see that a little structure is forming right here. If I check the line chart quickly, yes, maybe it will be much clearer on the hourly time frame. Yes, you can see here a lot of support. I possibly think that we might have a spike to the upside, then the market will return, it will break this area, and this is when I will start taking my shorts, right? I am not saying that this is going down for sure, because it just might continue to push to the upside. So what I will do, guys, is I will mark this little area. I want to see how the market is going to pull back into it or break it. If it pulls back, then I will be looking for longs because the market is up, right? But we keep in mind that we are at a very strong weekly and daily resistance area, potential double top. So if this overall bullish structure breaks to the downside retest, then there will be a lot of shorts incoming. So that's for GU. As we're bearish on the dollar and bullish on EU, AU, then this should basically go up. But the pound usually doesn't correlate much with EU because pound and euro, they're different currencies. So the correlation is not that high. So it's very crucial to see how the market will open. GJ, very similar, strong bullish engulf, actually closing above the previous weekly candles. And we don't have a daily double top right here, which is a good thing. I can see the last days are starting to find the top, but this is basically a high, so it's perfectly fine. We should wait for the exhaustion and then try to take a long position. However, from the 4-hour perspective, how I would be looking at this is for shorts, because I can see the market is starting to fail to break above this area. My last structural level is right here. So if I see a break below this area and a quick retest, I will be taking shorts to the downside until I see the price finding support somewhere, strongly pushing to the upside, and on the attempt to make a lower low, it fails to make a lower low, and this is where I will immediately start looking for buys and maybe the continuation to the upside from the daily time frame. So this is how I will be looking. Two simple areas, guys. If we have a break below, I will be taking shorts, and if we have a break above, I will be looking for retests and continuations. But keep in mind that overall we are going up. So if you take your shorts, be careful with your take profits. Don't put your take profit down here, for example. Make sure to have it, maybe you can measure it with a daily FIP or with a 4-hour FIP, who knows. But just go with the flow, and when you see the market starting to shift, just get out of your position. GA, finally something from that pair. Weekly candle, massive bearish engulf, and this is because of AUSUSD. AUSUSD was very bullish this week. So on this one, we found the top after numerous times of manipulation. We finally gathered the orders. We strongly began the week with a downside movement, down, and we ended the week with bearishness. So on this one, I don't trade GA. It's too volatile. It's a very good pair to trade, but it's more for swing traders with the bigger stop losses. Lower high right here, beautiful with the EMA. Then we pulled back again, lower high, beautiful with the EMA. Two opportunities right here, massive flush to the downside, ending the week extremely bearish. So how I'm looking at this market for next week, it's super simple. I want to see just a pullback for another lower high like this, somewhere around here, let's say average. This could be 50%, 61.8 as well. You can see perfectly into the zone, and then we might start to look for shorts. As for take profits, we had a gap right here. Oh yeah, this was the gap. Yeah, but I'm not trading this pair anymore, so I'm not following it much. But I can see that here at the 62% extension, we have a pretty strong area. So we might even go that further. Beautiful trade for swing traders. So if there are any swing traders out there, make sure to watch this for a pullback into the FIPS. 98, a lot of confluences aligning, 1.98, and then continuation down. And lastly, having a look at Euro GBP, which I don't trade as well. My analysis from the previous week still stays. Let's see if it actually developed. So looking at the lines, I think I expected the market opened here. I expected a push down for a double bottom and then a reversal. So the market started right here, pushed up a little bit higher, strongly pushed down, failed to make a new lower low, which is a very good point. So up until now, we're right. Then it tried to push up, but failed to make the high as indicated, and as you can see, it actually stood exactly with those drawn levels. So looking at it again, resistance level right here and the support level right here, the price is basically consolidating. It's pretty clear what it does. What I want to see, guys, is a structural shift. So if I zoom in again, I see that my last structural point is right here. So if I have a strong break above, I will be looking for a pullback and a higher low formation and then back into the highs. If I have a strong break below, then I will be looking for a pullback into the resistance level and then continuations to the downside. This is how I look at EJ. Super simple. We just have to keep with the flow of the market. And that's for the GBPs. Let's have a look at gold's weekly time frame. Very strong bullish candle with no wick to the upside, indicating that it's not finding much resistance right here, but we don't know how the market will open, right? So looking at the daily time frame, I can see a pretty strong supply area. I can see right here. Overall, beautiful bullish structure. So the market opened right here with a very strong bullish candle breaking above this kind of structure. Then we perfectly came back to retest on the daily time frame, and we had a nice long right here. So 4-hour time frame, beautiful push, pullback, a lot of consolidation right here, a lot of rejections. Then we broke. We perfectly retested. It's a pity it's just a wick, maybe 15 minutes, 5 minutes. Yeah, maybe on this morning star formation you could have gotten along. I don't trade GOAT for now as well. I try to focus on the currencies because, guys, for real, 2 or 3 or 5 currencies can make you a living. You don't have to be absolutely everywhere. So how I'm looking at this market from pure 4-hourly structure, I can see a higher high. I would be expecting a pullback. Gold usually respects fibs pretty nice. So if we go from swing low to swing high, 61.8%, 50% zone right here. The EMA by that time will be right here. If I draw the brush, it will look something like this. So we can get the long right here if the market pulls back, long opportunity, and then we might go to the 27% extension. So this is how I'll be looking at this market. Long on gold. Let's see if it happens. We can see a strong recovery on US 30, massive weekly candle to the upside. Are the stocks finally starting to recover? I'm reading a lot of stuff that actually the crash is about to begin. Then this actually could be some sort of a flag of this bearish push, a pullback. Are we going to flush to the downside? Well, we don't know. But from technical perspective, guys, I think we had some nice trades on this one. So the week started right here, 6th of April. We immediately pushed higher to create a higher high. So from this swing to this swing, we had a 38.2%. Not the pullback I would like to see. So then we pushed down, bullish engulf, slow down a little bit, another bullish engulf, opportunity right here. Potentially, if I drop down to the hourly time frame or even 15-minute, we see push, strong pullback, and then a nice uptrend. So how I'm looking at for the next week on this one, taking in mind that this is going up, this is my previous major, I would say, lower high. Oop, not this one. Major higher low right here. I want to see how the market is going to pull back potentially to a fib level. We can see that it's pretty volatile and it tends to respect the 38%. We have the EMA right here, so we might have another respect of the 38.2, but US 30 largely depends on the stock market as well. It is recovering right now for sure, but we don't know if it's not going to break, right? We can have this trend line, so if we have a strong break below this trend line, then a pullback for a potential head and shoulders right here, then we might go down. So multiple possibilities on US 30. I usually don't trade it because it's too volatile. Again, it's too unpredictable, and if you just cannot find a way to scalp it, I think that for the long term, like, you really have to be aware of what is happening with the stock market and the economy in order to judge the direction. But this is just my thoughts. Let me know what you think about it as well. So this is how we're going to wrap up the video, guys. I really hope you extracted some knowledge from it, some value. You will get your charts prepared and you're going to crush it this week. Let me know what you want to see more from the channel. And yeah, if you like the video, hit the like button. Leave me some feedback, please, in the comments below, so I know that you appreciate the videos. And this is from me. I really thank you for staying up until now. I totally appreciate it, and I can't wait to see you on my next video.